Now that we've reviewed basics of setting up a list and assigning lists to variables and accessing list items, let's go over how to iterate over a list using while loops and for loops, and how to use the in and not in operators on a list. As you can see in line 1 in our lists.py Python script file, we've used the spam variable and assigned it an initial value of a 4-item list of types of spam: regular, light, bacon, and smoked. All of these list items are strings. We can use while loops to iterate through each item in a list. For instance, I can write while, and before I do that, remember you need a counter. Counter equals 0, so we'll begin at the 0th index, while counter is less than the length of the list. So essentially that statement is while counter is less than 4. So remember that will cover 0, 1, 2, and 3. And let's say we display the item we are on, so we'll print spam and the index of counter, and then we will add 1 to counter using our augmented assignment operator plus equals 1. Remember that's the same as counter equals counter plus 1. If I save this and run it, we should see regular, light, bacon, and smoked each on one line in the command prompt. So we go Python lists.py and we see regular, light, bacon, and smoked each on one line. So this is using a while loop. We don't have to start at 0. If we wanted to display the last 2 items in the list, we could start at index 2, so the 3rd item, bacon and smoked. We save this and run it. It will show bacon and smoked. So again, your counter is just your index position, and you use the while loop to traverse that list. Instead of using a while loop, we can use a for loop instead. So, using for, we can type spam spam type in spam, and now we can print spam type. We'll save this and run it. Now, I haven't explained this, but as you see, what we just did yielded the same result as our first while loop. Regular, light, bacon, and smoked, each item in the list. Now, how does this work? So essentially, a for loop in Python allows you to access each item in an object and iterate over it. In this case, each item in the object of a list is each list item. So, when we type for spam type in spam, each time the loop runs, spam type will be assigned to the next item in the list. So the first time it runs, spam type is equal to the string regular. The second time the loop runs, the spam type is equal to the string light. The third time bacon, and the fourth time smoked. So we don't have to have a counter, and we don't need to increment the counter, and we don't have to access any items by their index. So a for loop really simplifies a list if you want to iterate through all items. As you also see here, we had an operator, the in operator, and there's also the not in operator. You can use the in and not in operators as part of conditionals of if statements as well. So let's say we have all of our types of spam, and we want to know whether or not there is bacon spam in our list. So if bacon in spam, we can print yes, bacon. We'll save this file. So how does this work? So what I am asking Python to do in our conditional of our if statement is to check whether or not a list value is within the list. This will either evaluate to true or false. In this case, it should evaluate to true and print, yes, bacon, to the screen. We've saved our file, so let's go back to the command prompt, run our file, and we see, yes, bacon. It is present in the list. If we go back, let's say, well, before we had fish spam, and we can use not in. Oh, my brain is working faster than my fingers. Fish not in spam. So what are we asking here? Is the item string fish not in the list spam? Well, this is going to say absolutely, that's true. There's no item of string fish within the list spam, and it's going to print yes, no fish. So we're going to save this and run it. Yes, no fish. Now let me add an else statement to this. And print, nope, it's in the list. And let's change this back to bacon. So yes, no bacon, or nope, it's in the list. So how's this going to work? We're asking Python, okay, is bacon not in the list spam? Now if that were true, it would print yes, no bacon. However, we know that the word bacon, the string bacon, is in the list spam. So it's going to jump to else, because bacon not in spam will evaluate to false. And it's going to print to the screen, nope, it's in the list. So let's save the file, run it again, and we see, nope, it's in the list. So that is how to use the in and out operators. Next, we will cover various methods that are on the list type. So you can figure out whether or not a specific or what the index of an item is, how to sort the list, and whatnot. But essentially, we've covered here how to use while loops and for loops, as well as the in or not in operators.